Norm groups in psychometric assessments. Now, when using psychometric assessments, you'll almost always be asked to choose one particular norm group from a list. Now, what are norm groups and why do we use them? And the simple answer is a norm group is a collection of scores from a relevant population which allows you to benchmark, i.e. if you're looking at graduates, a graduate's norm group will allow you to compare your candidate's scores to that of graduates as a whole. So you'll know how well they do relative to the chosen population. Now, when designing psychometric assessments, collecting norm group data is an essential part of the process because it is so valuable to the selection process as a whole. What happens is typically a psychometric test publisher will go to, say, universities, in the case of developing graduate norm groups, and recruit participants to help in developing the assessment. You'll get hundreds, possibly thousands, maybe tens of thousands of graduates to sit and complete the assessment before you brought it to market in order to find out what the average score is and the distribution of those scores. You will do this for as many populations as you would like to test for. So it could be graduates, it could be apprentices, it could be professionals, managers, executives. It could even be specific roles, i.e. finance, accountancy, legal professionals. It's all intrinsically important to benchmarking and to ensuring that the scores you generate are contextually relevant. Now, once you have your norm group data, and it is always a process getting that data, analyzing it is fairly simple. Once you have, say, 1,000 graduates and their scores, first thing you do is you find out the average score, usually just using the mean, and then you would look at the distribution of those scores, typically the standard deviation. Once you have that information, you'll know how well the average graduate does. Say if it's a 15-question assessment, 10 out of 15 perhaps, and the standard deviation, i.e. plus or minus 2, 3, something like that. Once you have that information, you can create what we call norm-referenced scores. These are scores which are automatically contextualized for that particular population. So if you have a graduate, they complete the assessment and they score at the 50th percentile, what that means is they're exactly average for that population. If they score at the 80th percentile, it means they're in the top 20% of that population, and if they score at the 20th percentile, it means they're at the bottom 20%. Now, the fact is, one of the reasons we call them a norm group is that it follows the normal distribution, sort of bell curve, with most people scoring in the middle, in the average range, and comparatively fewer people scoring at the extremes, hence norm group.